Hi and welcome to my OCR A-Level Biology revision with me, Christine. Today's lesson is going to look at the circulatory system and the difference between insects, fish and mammals. So the first thing we need to discuss when it comes to circulatory system is that this is a transport system. So we need to talk about the transport medium. Now, the transport medium in most organisms is normally water based and therefore it has lots of dissolved substances in it. Now, depending on which circulatory system that we're looking at, it could have dissolved gases in it like oxygen, carbon dioxide, but nearly all the circulatory systems do have the need to dissolve glucose, amino acids, mineral ions, and those waste products. So we're going to look at the difference between the circulatory systems and how they are efficient. Now, most circulatory systems do need to be contained within blood vessels. So we have our arteries, our capillaries, our veins, which are our types of blood vessels that you need to know the difference of. And also there needs to be some form of pumping mechanism. So that in the mammals would be the heart. So if we look at the difference between an open circulatory system, then this is a circulatory system that has very few vessels. So the transport medium is not contained within all the vessels. That's why it's classed as being open. Instead, what happens is the heart will pump that transport medium straight into the body cavity. Now, when we talk about this, we're looking normally at insects, and we know that those insects are going to have this heart that runs all the way down through their abdomen. And that therefore means that when the heart pumps, it's going to pump the fluid, which is called the hemolymph. That's the insect blood, and that is going to be pumped into that body cavity, and that's going to be transporting the food molecules such as the glucose, amino acids, and also removing the nitrogenous waste. And that's important because we know that nitrogenous waste, if it builds up, can become toxic. So we need this transport system that allows for the delivery of the substances that are required and the removal of the waste product. So it's important to note that the fact that the blood, this transport medium, is going straight into the body cavity means that there's direct contact with the tissues and the cells. So this hemolymph is in direct contact and therefore allows for that exchange of substances. Now, it is important to note that insects have a completely different gaseous exchange system, where their gaseous exchange is within their tracheal system. So do check out my video on the insect's tracheal system. If we move on then from a open circulatory system and we look at the closed circulatory system, this is where the blood is enclosed within the blood vessels and it does not come in contact with the cells. So the only way in which substances can move is if they are exchanged by diffusion. So if we start with the fish then, the fish have a single circulatory system. Now, single circulatory systems have very specific features. The blood travels through the heart only once. Therefore, there is one atrium, one ventricle. The blood will then pass through two sets of capillaries, one at the gills and one which is at the rest of the body. Now, the fact that there are two sets of capillaries actually reduces the pressure of the blood, and that therefore slows the blood returning back to the heart. That makes it a limit on the efficiency of this exchange system. So it's important to note that fish are very active, and because they're very active, they need an efficient exchange system. So fish actually have a very efficient single circulatory system because they have adapted their gills to have what's known as a countercurrent gaseous exchange. So again, do check out my video on the exchange system in the fish to understand how that countercurrent system works. What they also have is the fact that they live in water and the fact that they don't need to control their body temperatures because they're ectotherms means they have a low metabolic demand, and this ensures that the need for the exchange system isn't too much for what their system does. So they do have a very efficient single circulatory system because their needs are not as much as those as of mammals or birds. So if we look at a closed circulatory system and we look at the birds and most mammals, we need to discuss the fact that they have what's known as a double circulatory system. So the fact that it's a double circulatory system is because there are two circuits. The first circuit, which is the systemic circulation, goes from the left side of the heart to the body capillaries, where the oxygenated blood is going to drop off the oxygen, and then the deoxygenated blood is going to travel back to the right side of the heart. So that's classed as the systemic circulation because it's going from the left side through the body and back to the right side. The pulmonary circulation, on the other hand, goes from the right side of the heart to the lungs, where it will therefore exchange the carbon dioxide that it was carrying for oxygen, so pick up the oxygen, and then transfer back to the left side of the heart to then be pumped back into the systemic circulation. Now, what this means is that the left side and the right side of the heart never mix, and therefore what we have is that each circuit only passes through one set of the capillaries. And because it only passes through one set of capillaries, that maintains a higher pressure and therefore faster flow than in a single circulatory system. So it's a closed circulatory system because the blood is maintained within the blood vessels and is never in contact with the cells. However, it is a double circulatory system if there's only one set of capillaries and two circuits. If you like this video and you want to learn more about OCR A-level biology, then please click the like below and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you're looking for a good revision platform, then do check out www.aiqchat.com. This will help you to not only revise, but it will also help you to identify which subject content you have strength in and where you need to work on.